Hello everybody, we're bringing in the big guns, we're bringing in the big mic for our year-end wrap-up of beauty. Welcome to my 2024 beauty favorites, my friends, and I am positively thrilled to be filming this, might I add, because I do one every single year, as do many of us here on YouTube. They're one of my favorite videos to watch. I just love a good favorites, I love a good roundup. It's just also a good little memory marker. What am I trying to say here? It's a good thing to look back on for me. I love to see all of the products that I love throughout the year and how much it changes over the years. It's like a little mini beauty time capsule, if you will. And usually it just includes the best of the best, the tippity top faves from this year. So every single year I go through all the favorites videos and I see what I was loving, see what products ruled the roost, and see what still remains at the end of the year. So I've got a good pile here. But I do have to say that this past year, since last year's Landmas actually, was my year of truly decluttering and purging my life of all of these excess things. And I actually started my little series of the products I'm no longer buying, but I've really been enjoying doing that series and kind of implementing that more into my beauty routine. So a lot of these favorites really do remain the same. And so the products that do remain, the products that still do make us excited, really are the tippity top, the best of the best. So my friends, I'm just going to go through this whole list. You probably recognize most of the products that are sitting here. And as always, please do let me know in the comments down below any products that were your favorites from the year. Were any of your top picks influenced by some of these things here? Or do you just have products that I've never seen or heard that I need to try? Please do let me know in the comments down below. Without further ado, my friends, here is my 2024 beauty roundup. So we're beautifully happily skipping right over primers because as part of the products I'm no longer buying list, hydrating primers, just primers at large, really, were kind of removed from my makeup routine. And I've really been embracing a simple skincare routine and letting that just allow the glow to shine through. And we're just going straight to foundations and bases. So honestly, I had too many favorites to count this year. I tried so many different base products and tints and foundations and all the things, and a few were truly stand out. I think a big theme for me this year was really embracing my natural skin and trying to find shades that actually match my undertone. And this has been a long journey. This has been like an 11 or almost 12-year journey here on YouTube of trying to finally decide what my actual skin tone is. And it has proven to be difficult. So not only are these products beautiful in finish and wear, they're also lovely in shade match and undertone. So number one has to be the Haus Labs foundation. This is a product that I have used many a time before, but I think I just really truly embraced its glory this year. It's got beautiful buildable medium coverage. It's a super glowy finish, and they say that it improves your skin as you wear it, and I do. I kind of feel like it does make your skin look better throughout the day, which is really rare for foundations. So this has been such a favorite from the year. I love the packaging. I love the shade match. It's so good. I also have some deeper shades that I was using throughout the summer, but my pale shade, the perfect match to my very white neck, is 40N. She's a beaut. Another discovery from this year was the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Tint. And this is just a really light, barely there base. It's so pretty, so natural, so dewy on the skin. I love the packaging. It is so fun to look at. I love how it sits on the table and it's not too heavy. It's so perfect for travel. I have the shade T4, which is the lighter shade, and the shade T8, which is the deeper shade for my summertime and or fake tan. And I just love Lisa Eldridge as a human being so much. It's just been such a privilege to witness her and her journey and her makeup expertise over the years. And so I was really sad when I didn't like the foundation that she launched. So when I tried this and it was like perfection, I was so happy to have been able to add this to my pile and be like, yes, this is a beautiful everyday shade. It's a little bit annoying. I'm not going to lie. The shipping is tough to Canada. It can be really expensive. I definitely love to buy my products when I'm across the pond, but you can order it from her website or through Space NK. You just end up paying shipping and duties, which is annoying. So my Canadians, be warned. Everybody else, perhaps it's more smooth sailing for you. But yeah, the Lisa Eldridge products, chef's kiss. I would also, in this moment, like to just give a shout out to her mascara, the Kit and Lash mascara, which was a huge favorite of mine throughout the year. I do not currently have it, and I had totally had a brain fart when I was there and I didn't buy a refill. And when I mean there, when I was in the UK. So silly of me, but just would like to insert an honorary mention that that was a huge favorite from this year. And finally, I would like to give a shout out to Shireen, sweet angel, beautiful Shireen. She is a content creator who is based here in Vancouver. She is amazing and has the most beautiful skin on planet Earth. And she brought our attention to the Sephora Reveal the Real Soft Radiant Skin Tint this year. I have the shade 100N Fair. I think that this might be the lightest shade, question mark. I was using 130 for a little bit. No, had to go for the lightest. It's beautiful. Also looks natural, so glorious, very light, nice packaging for travel. And I would just like to state again that for the lighter shades, sometimes it just ends up looking white and chalky on the skin and it doesn't actually soak in and look beautiful. I remember the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation was the first time I really noticed that because I used a deeper shade and I was like, this is my favorite foundation ever. And then when I used the lighter shades to actually match my natural skin tone, completely different formula. It looked like chalky, chunky goop on my face. So not all formulas are the same across the shades. So these ones, if you have pale skin, they are beautiful. I know I'm putting 3 into my yearly favorites, but truly they have been on my daily rotation and there's even more added for my little December monthly roundup. So big year for skin and base products. Continuing on to concealer. It's really been the year of the Tower 28 Serum Concealer for me. This has been one of the best concealers I have ever used just for all around everything. I love Tower 28. I love everything that they do. I love everything that they come out with. And the Serum Concealer is like, it's just been everything for me. And the shades, I have recently picked up the lighter shades again to match my pale skin. And BU is the shade we have landed upon. Previously I was using DTLA and they're so good. The shade match is so beautiful. It's brightening. It wears gorgeously all over the face. And oh, if you're looking for a new concealer to try and you have dry, sensitive skin, look no further. This is the one. You know, time is such a foreign concept to me at this point that when I was making the list for this video, I didn't even realize that we were in the same calendar year that the Givenchy Prism Libre powder was discontinued as we know it. I say discontinued because they changed the formula on everyone and that came out of nowhere. We had no warning to buy backups for the best powder that has ever existed on planet Earth, the most blurring and mattifying and glowing at the same time, somehow science, I don't understand how it works, but like the most magical powder ever for the most flawless finish ever. Yeah, they just said, see you later, we're actually just gonna make it sparkly. Surprise. And I didn't realize that was this year. Time is just... Anyway, but yeah, that was this year. So we said goodbye, tragically, to the Givenchy powder, which was my favorite powder from last year. And in that time, truly, Makeup by Mario couldn't have asked for a better moment to launch his powder. But the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder, I have this one in the shade 1. Fair Pink. This has been a beautiful dupe that has filled the void. It is slightly lighter in finish, slightly less blurring and less intense than the Givenchy one, so that makes it beautiful for every day. My Givenchy one, even though it is the most intense, most blurring powder that I've ever used, I did reserve that to my more like glam looks. I wouldn't wear that for my like natural daily makeup, whereas this one, I can do both with it. It's really good. And it doesn't settle into any of the fine lines on my eyes. It doesn't settle into any of the dry patches around my mouth. Like I can really use it all over and it's beautiful. It's definitely filled the void and is my powder favorite from the year. Definitely one to try if you were in the market for a new powder. She's a beaut. Would love a little travel size though. My Givenchy one had a travel size, okay? Speaking of Makeup by Mario, my love for the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I had to do that with my eyes closed because I forget the name of this all the time. Why can't it just be a cream bronzer? Cream contour. Just the cream. Why did it have to be 17 words? I used one up entirely this year, had an empty. It was beautiful. I waited for a little bit. I was like, oh, I don't want to buy anything else. I want to use up the products I have in my collection. No, a void was left when I used this up, and so I did repurchase it, and I've already hit pan again. If that doesn't show you how much I use and love this product, let the pan number 2 of this year speak for itself. It's glorious. It's so light and so creamy and looks so natural on the skin, and it really is great. I have the shade Light Medium. I'm considering getting a lighter shade just to see. I don't remember loving it, but maybe I'll have to get the lighter one because it is a little bit dark for me right now. But the beauty of this product is that you can really sheer it out and it looks nice, but I'd like to see if there's a cooler toned one. I'll report back on my findings at a later date, but we dibble and dabble here and there, but this is the constant. I would like to mention a setting spray because I really didn't give this one in particular a fair shot for a long time, and then we were blessed with Kevin Kodra's wisdom this year, and he was like, why aren't you using the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish, Flawless, so many words, Airbrush Flawless setting spray. I've gone through multiple bottles of these, multiple travel size bottles of these this year. It's so great. At first, I was concerned that the fragrance would be irritating to me, but it has not been. I just drench my face in this every single day, regardless of what I'm doing. And I pretty much haven't really used another setting spray. There are others that I've tried just for like testing and full face videos, whatever, but that's been the one that remains. And it feels so good on the skin. It just makes your skin melt and just looks wet, and it's divine. There's like a vice grip on this. I feel like my fingers are turning purple. I don't know why I'm so... Hello? I would like to talk to you about highlighters because I love a highlighter, always, but I do feel like this last year has really cemented a cream highlight as a staple and a must-have in my makeup doing life. I don't know, I don't reach for powder highlights so much anymore, although this could be another phase. I could dip in and out of this, but this really was the year of the cream highlighter, and there were a few that I have loved and a few that I've used lots towards the second half of the year, and those were like my pink tinted highlighters. This is the Westman Atelier Nectar, and then we also have the Dior Maximizer in the shade Nude. That was like a newer one. And I would say that my Westman Atelier one is quite like goopy. Like sometimes even if I just really lightly dip my finger in, I can dip a lot in. It's kind of like a Play-Doh consistency. And then obviously the Dior one is a liquid highlighter. So I just have to be a little bit more precise, but they are so beautiful. And I've really loved discovering the difference of having a little bit of a champagne-y pink tone in there. And I think it can be so pretty. But at the end of the day, like across the board, my appreciation and love for the Victoria Beckham Pearl Reflect Highlighter is just so strong. It's so good. Obviously it's a spendy, splurgy product, but I have had this for a long time now, and it's just like in between. It's not as goopy as the Westman Atelier one, and it's obviously not a liquid like the Dior one. It's just right in between. It gives the most natural, glowing, like insane highlight on the skin. There's no chunky bits of glitter. The packaging is unreal. Like you don't get more luxe and beautiful than this. And you guys know, like since day one, since her brand launched, I have been the biggest Victoria Beckham beauty stan. I'm obsessed with it. But like this has been a standout. And I remember I bought this at the Victoria Beckham store in London, and it's just truly so divine. My top highlighter from the year. Now, of course, we have to talk about blushes, one of my favorite subjects ever. And, you know, I feel like every year I have to mention my Nude Sticks favorites because obviously we have my Picante Blush Love Child, which is always a favorite, especially in the summer months. It's really like my summer blush. That was the inspiration behind it, the birth of it. It was all like summer skin, bronzed, glowing. I'm in my beachy waves era. Like that's my Picante blush. That is like my hot weather, hot vacay blush. She's perfect. And this year, Nude Sticks launched Stacks, and we created its little baby sister, Picante Nude. And the Nude Sticks Stacks formula is actually like a blurring matte blush, which I don't understand the science. It's fascinating. It's like their cloud cushion balm. And like all of the Nude Sticks products, it's a totally multitasking, versatile product. You can put this all over. You can put it on your cheeks, you can put it on your lips, you can put it on your eyes. It's truly like the perfect product for creating that monochromatic all over look, which Picante will always be my number one. The Nudies matte, I love. Someday, I pray. It's not in the works. I'm not teasing anything, but I would love that in a Nudies Bloom because I feel like that'd be so pretty and glossy and gorgeous. Like that's my hope for Nude Sticks someday. Please bring Picante out in a Nudies Bloom. And obviously we had such a huge moment with Stacks this year. You guys have heard me go on and on and on about it. We did so many stops. We did a little Nude Sticks tour this year. Like we have given so much love to Nude Sticks Stacks over the year. And so all of that being said, with the launch of Picante Nude alongside Picante Forever, I had no idea. Like I literally showed up to the event in London and I had no idea that they had come out with the eye lights. And this was part of their Nude Sticks Stacks. And this is a completely new and different formula for Nude Sticks. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous shimmery eyeshadow topper. And they are phenomenal. And the shade Boss Babe in particular was part of a set that you can buy on the Nude Sticks website or on various retailers. It's not sold at Sephora, but I think it's at the rest. You can get it at Cult Beauty. You can get it on Selfridges. Again, nudesticks.com, which you can use my discount code Alana for. But Boss Babe is glorious. It's so beautiful. And I shattered mine. And I had at one point shoved it back into the tin, but no, guys, I dropped it again. Like it went goodbye. Boss Babe is goodbye. I have yet to pick up a refill, but I need to because it's so beautiful. And that was like such a highlight launch for me. And I, again, showed up to this event, and one of the gals on the Nude Sticks team who was working at Selfridges, who was like helping us put on the event, she had it on her eyes. And I was like, what is on your eyes? And she's like, girl, what do you mean? It's Nude Sticks eye lights. And I was like, what's an eye light? And I looked at Taylor and I was like, hello, were you going to tell me that you guys were coming out with this? It's so beautiful. So they have Boss Babe, which is beautiful. I wish you could buy it individually, but it does come in a set with some really gorgeous colors, honestly. But they've since come out with a set of 3 eye lights that you can get at Sephora. This one's in Sophisticate, however you wish to say that. But this is the little stacks. I have 4 of my favorite shades. So I have the eye lights here. Then I've got Picante Nude, Love and Roses, and also Barely Nude. Those are my top picks from the Nude Sticks Stacks set. So obviously a huge highlight. We covered that so much this year. And I just have to say, as usual, thank you guys so much for all of the love on Picante. It continues to be a hero product in my life, and seeing more and more people discover it as time goes on, it just truly fills me with so much joy and love and appreciation for the color orange. And I don't care what any color analysis says. Orange is my baby color, okay. But quick little shout out to Bareback, because I had to include this, because regardless of how many times I can scream it from the rooftops, Bareback, other than Picante, the shade I created, this is my other favorite. Like, if I had to wear one shade for the rest of my life, bury me in Bareback. It's the shade I wore on my wedding day. It's the shade I think suits me the best, no matter what form I am in. If I'm my most pale or my most tan, Bareback is the one. If I could have this color in all forms of everything, eyeshadow, lipstick, lip gloss, bleh, everything, Bareback is the one. Nude Sticks Bareback does not get the hype that it deserves. This is perfect. So another launch that was really stand out to me this year was actually the Armani Luminous Silk blushes. Luminous Silk Cheek Tint. But the shade Bold Pink was the one to rule them all for me, and it's just so pretty. There are not a lot of liquid blushes in the world that I like. The Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer blushes are like number one for me, and then this is the only one to have rivaled that. The shade is completely different from my Laura Mercier favorite. My Laura Mercier favorite's more in the Bareback realm. It's kind of more neutral. This one's a bright, beautiful, cool toned pink, and I was so happy when they launched this, because so many pinks in liquid blush format are quite warm or corally, or they have some shimmer to it. This is just like, ugh. You can't go wrong with anything in the Luminous Silk lineup. The foundation, the concealer, these, everything is great. So this was a highlight launch for me this year as well. Oh my gosh, we made it through all the base products. Were you guys surprised by any of my favorites, or were you expecting absolutely every single one of these? I'm so curious to know. Let's move on to eyes. Let's actually continue on. Sorry, I didn't call this out, but it's because I was about to mention this. The Armani eye tints. The eye tints have continued to just be a staple in my everyday makeup. And I'm actually not including a palette this year, because I think for the most part, you guys know, for my everyday makeup, I just like a little wash of something, a little one wipe of something, whether it's my bronzer, my contour, a cream eyeshadow, an eye tint like this. Like, that's the makeup that I feel the most comfortable in and the most beautiful in. And I feel like it just enhances my natural features. And finding a shade that works for you, like this shade in particular, it's rubbed off. This is my 22M, I'm sure. I didn't even realize that had rubbed off. It's 22M, surely. That's the one. Either way, whatever shade works for you. The Armani eye tints, these are so good. They do not crease, they do not budge, they blend out like a dream. They're perfect. They have shades for everybody. They have shimmers as well that are just as stunning and glorious as the matte ones, but this one in particular is just like my perfect everyday go-to shade. It's a nice in-between taupey neutral brown. I love it so much and practically lived in it all year long. So that was great. And then a more recent launch, I just have to give a shout out to the Patrick Ta duos, because I feel like these got a lot of flack online. I feel like there's some other drama going. I can't keep up. Honestly, I'm too old for this. Honestly, I've been so off of TikTok over the last couple weeks because it's just so negative. It's so draining. So if I've missed something, oh my, I'm just going to tell you, I love these shimmers, okay? The shimmers are beautiful, and I love a good shimmery eye topper, and so many of the ones that I use are cream, and the powder ones that I love are usually in a big palette. So the fact that me, as a shimmery eyeshadow topper lover, can have this little option of 2 on the go, and I can put it with everything, and I don't have to carry around a giant palette of eyeshadows that I barely wear, that excites me greatly. So I know the price is up there, but if it's something that you're going to use every day, I support it. The shade that I love the most is We Need Better Lighting. You get this gorgeous silvery pearl, and you also get a gorgeous champagne gold, and it just looks good on top of everything. They really are so beautiful. I feel like I need to give you guys a swatch. Shining, shimmering, splendid. They're fantastic, and we were waiting for this launch last year, and they finally were launched this year. And it took me until the end of the year to get my hands on it, but big end of the year highlight favorite right here. So for a mascara favorite, I already mentioned the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash Mascara, which was highlight, big favorite from the year. And then at one point I filmed a video of your guys' product favorites, and I asked for your top recommendations. And that is when we discovered the Lancome Hypnose Mascara. What a dream, what a treat. I have already been through and repurchased this year. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it got me back onto the mascara train, if I'm totally honest, because I still go through my phases every once in a while where I just don't wear mascara at all, and I was getting really frustrated because my eyes are really sensitive. We drive a lot now. Like, driving is a huge part of our life now that we live, where it didn't used to be when we were in the city. And my eyes would just burn, and then my mascara would be flaking into my eyeballs, and I would just be crying, and it was red, and it was just terrible, you know? Mascara and me became enemies for a little while, but this one was my savior. It doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge, it lasts all day, and at the same time is so easy to remove, which is really hard. Like, sometimes mascaras that are really long lasting and wear so beautifully can be such a pain. to take off at the end of the night, and you end up just scrubbing the living baloney out of your eyeballs, and it's just not a pleasant experience whatsoever. So for a bit, I was just like, screw mascara. I'm not dealing with this anymore. This is such a joy. And it's also in the shade brown, which is lighter and I think just suits me best. It's so volumizing. It's so lifting. Magical, magical mascara. And arguably one of my top beauty discoveries from this year. So thank you for that one. And typically in my yearly favorites, I don't usually include a lot of lip favorites, but I actually feel quite strongly about some of the lip discoveries and products that we have from this year. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to the Armani Prismaglass, specifically in the shade 02, which was like a huge favorite of mine earlier in the year, and I was wearing this nonstop. I literally went through half the tube. Like half of it is gone. It is such a gorgeous glassy pink. They're so glossy. They literally look like glass on your lips, and I had such a fun time working on this campaign with them, doing the entire launch. It was such a dream. And then we later discovered number 7. Thank you, Susie, for that one. So it took me till the end of the year to pick that one up. And that was kind of my like springtime, summery, bright shades. And along with that, speaking of bright shades, I just have to give a shout out to like my favorite find from this year. This is the Rouge Dior number 784. Now at the start of last year, I went to the launch in LA with Dior, where we got to see all of the lipsticks, all of the, I think it was 66 shades? That could be wrong. But Peter Phillips was there in the flesh. We got to meet him. We got to talk to him. It was magical. And usually in the Dior PR sendouts, they send their like classic shades. They do their 100, 200, the 999, their reds. And so I had never seen all of these other fabulous, bright, colorful shades, and all of them were on display there. And I was like, whoa, sitting there swatching them all. I'm like, I need to buy that one. So when I got home, I ordered it immediately, and my love for 784 was born. It was so funny because every time I've worn this, people are like, it's red. I'm like, no, it is a bright pink. I don't know what happens in the translation through the camera and the videos, but this is very much a bright, very pigmented pink. And it was love at first swipe. And this was like my go-to bold lip all spring and summer long. And at the start of the year, I was like, bring back bold lips. And that kind of, died as I got into this glossy phase, truly. And then we embraced the, deep shades for fall and winter. But this color of this lipstick is magical and like one of my favorite lip shades of all time. And then for glosses, 2 of the glosses that have ruled the roost, truly, the Summer Fridays Rosewood Nights Dream Lip Oil. I'm also like pushing empty on this thing. My tube is getting sparse. This is such a gorgeous color. It's not the most hydrating thing I've ever used. Like, it's one of those products that I put on and I'm like, wow, it looks so good. And it looks good for like an hour, and then it just exits the building and there's no lingering hydration whatsoever. I don't know how that works for an oil. I thought an oil would be a lot more hydrating and long lasting in that way, but this color is perfection. I also really had a moment with Soft Mauve, but hopefully you guys can get a glimpse of this glory. I don't know what this shade description is, but that was such a favorite, such a favorite. And I said this year that it was the gloss version of the Victoria Beckham Bisou Bitten Lip Tint, which we'll get to in a second, but very much that color profile, such a favorite. The Rosewood Nights, gorgeous, huge favorite from this year. And then I also discovered the Bobbi Brown Plump Lip Serum in the shade Bare Lilac. This is the lip product I'm wearing right now. It just looks like glass, and because it has this beautiful purpley, very cool undertone, it just gives that icy, fresh, like truly. I have been frolicking in the snow and I'm a little ice angel. I don't know what it is about this, but it's so pretty. I saw somebody on TikTok absolutely slandering this and I was shocked. And it just goes to show how everyone's experiences with products are different, because I can't get enough of this thing. It's so good. It's so hydrating. I haven't even looked at any of the other shades because the Bare Lilac was just like, ah! And then I attended the Bobbi Brown masterclass a little bit later, and I think they were using the Bare Rose, I want to say, on the model, and I was like, oh, they're just beautiful. So beautiful. And then let's chat about Bisou, shall we? Because obviously you guys may or may not know, I had purchased a fresh one of these coming into the fall and winter because I was like, this is my favorite lip stain of all time. One of my most worn lip products of all time. Like, not even this year, just of all time. The packaging, the color, everything is perfect. For a while I was going between Cherie and Bisou, and I've landed on the fact that Bisou is my all-time favorite. The applicator just fell off. Said see you later. Just disappeared into the oblivion. It didn't fall in. It actually like fell onto my lap as as I was applying it one day, which was very sad. So we still have product in here. And then I just recently picked up a fresh one because I can't be without it. It's truly like sometimes when I do my makeup, obviously we have lots of favorites. I use many different things, but every once in a while, if I just feel like I'm looking a little bit naked, I put Bisou on and I instantly feel better. I wear this with or without makeup. It's one of those things, if you are looking for a lip stain, I pretty much just don't use any other lip stains at all, full stop. Like this is the one for me, and the color for me, it's so good. So I was devastated to see that so many of you had this problem with the applicator falling off. Perhaps Victoria Beckham Beauty will respond and fix something, or is there something to be done about that? I don't know, but it hadn't happened to me for the years and years and years prior to me using and loving this. It was only in this recent batch, so maybe something went awry with whatever this year's batch was. I'll keep you posted if the same thing happens to the new one, but it's such a good color. A swatch on my hand just doesn't do it justice whatsoever, but hopefully if you have been here and watching my content, then you will have seen this enough to know that it is one of the most glorious things that I've ever put on my mouth. So it's another huge lip favorite from the year. And with that, my friends, the roundup and wrap-up of my beauty favorites of 2024 is complete. Those are all of the products that I loved the most, the tippity top picks from the year. Out of all of the products that we have tried, these are the ones that remain and continue to be favorites and essentials in my everyday beauty and makeup routine. I would love to hear from you. Please do let me know what you guys think of my roundup. Did you guess these correctly? Were you expecting all of these? Do you have any similar favorites to me? Or again, if you have any products that you think I need to try and add to my roundup of tippity top holy grail favorites, please let me know in the comments down below. You guys, I can't believe that another beauty roundup is done. I can't believe we have come to the end of another year here on YouTube. It feels like time is flying. Life is just blinking by, and I don't know whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just love you all and thank you for being here on this beautiful, wonderful journey. And we have a few more videos left of Landmas, and I'm thrilled to bits to be closing out the year with you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow for a new one.